We rolling deep across our 10 in the dirty South, where the rivers blend from Lake Charles to Baton Rouge. We riding with the Saints under them southern skies. We hustle hard, ain't no time to stop. Drive to the top, it's our time to shine. From Nola's heart, we redefine the grind. Southwest Louisiana, stand up proud. With every beat, we bring the heat, hear the crowd. From Houston streets to Lafayette, Long McNeese. Right, let the raging cages flow. DJ Dirty South, turn it up loud. Marking our vibes, yeah, we make our proud. Get on the bus, we coming alive. Drive to the top, it's our time to shine. From Nola's heart, we redefine the grind. Southwest Louisiana, stand up proud.
Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another live edition of On The Go right here on Driving to the Top Productions and Dirty South Entertainment. Yep, that's me. I am your host, Dirty South himself, Marky Mark, in this funky bunch. What's up, everybody, on this lovely Thursday. It is May 28th, 2026. Hope you guys are enjoying your summer. Hope everyone had a wonderful, safe Memorial Day weekend. It's summer. And we just shot it to the moon, baby. I know everyone's happy. Get their breaks. It's vacation time. It's beach time. All that good stuff. With us being ready for football and whatnot. You know I am. But let's enjoy this first. And I got a good lineup for y'all tonight. We're going to have a little fun tonight. But before we get any further, you know what to do, man. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on X at DirtySouthENT_. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. On The Go, you could find on Instagram at OnTheGo_TXLA. Driving to the Top, of course, X, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram as well. Tonight's show is presented by Rogue Energy, the official game and drink of On The Go, and POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement of On The Go. Pick your poison. Go to RogueEnergy.com or download that app on any mobile device or go to POGGERS.shop. There's the promo code to get 10% off. Type in OTG. Marky Mark sent you on that one. Well, I hope you guys are ready. We're going to have a fun one tonight. And let's go ahead. I feel like from here on out throughout the summer, it's mainly going to be H-Town talk. I got a little bit of stuff to talk in my state as well. But from here on out, majority of the show is going to be in H-Town. So let's not waste any time. Let's go kick this off in the 713 and let's jump straight to some Astros talk. Y'all ready? Let's go, baby. All right, we're going to kick things off with some Astros talk where I'm going to talk Houston Astros baseball. And, yep, we're improving with what we got right now despite all the injuries. And we're just telling the injury. Matter of fact, let me get it ready. Despite all the injuries we got right now, we're not going to let them stop us. This is for the injury bug.
Off is a direction you can fuck.
And I say that out loud because the Astros are doing just fine right now. Hell, this past Memorial Day weekend, they went to Chicago to take on the Cubs and handled their business. We got a sweep finally. You know how long it's been since we had a sweep? Whoo, 1-2 boogie, shorty.
Give me 1-2 boogie and shorty George. Shorty George.
They went and handled their business with the Cubs. They won game 1, 4-2. Shut them out 3-0 in game 2 and won game 3, 8-5. Only their second sweep of the season, plus what they did with the Boston Red Sox in the first meeting this season. I do have the numbers for the Cubs series, and this is what we had. The hitting crew had 15 runs, 24 hits, 2 doubles, 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, 44 total bases, 10 walks, 23 strikeouts. Their batting average was .240. Their OPP was .315. Their sluggage percentage was .440, and their OPS against the Cubs .755. While the pitching crew only allowed 14 hits, 7 errors, 2 home runs, 15 walks. It threw 20 strikeouts, and their ERA was 2.33, a good lineup for the pitching crew against the Cubs. Now, they're playing part 2 of the Lone Star Series, and let me tell you, they're about to – let me get this right. This is about to be series number 7 they will win of the season, because go back to Monday night, they shut them out 9-0. They did lose the second game 10-7, but they picked up the win last night 4-3 with a walk-off. But now in the bottom of the 7th, I've got the game on right now. They're currently up 5-1. Only a couple innings until they win another series and take the lead to bring the silver boot back to H-Town for the Lone Star Series for 2026. But here, like I said, despite the injury bugs, we're actually playing a little bit better. I'm hoping we can keep this momentum going, because so far this season, I know the record is not that good. They're currently 25-32. You can add win number 26 after this one. But we'll keep on winning, because I said so far this season, they've only swept 2 teams, the Cubs and the Red Sox. They've only won a total of 6 series this season. They've been swept in 3 of their 11 series they've lost so far this season. A couple stat leaders in this one. I think Jordan might be across the board. Well, he's about across the board on everything except in RBIs. Christian Walker still leads with a total of 40 RBIs this season for the Astros, while Jordan still leads in everything else. His batting average for the season, .312, 20 total home runs, 63 total hits, and his OBP average for the season, .422 as well. You can also say he leads in, I did say home runs. He's got 20 home runs this season. Not far behind is Christian Walker, 15 home runs. He's got the second best right there. But what's coming up for the Astros? I know this weekend they're coming back at home to Dyken Park. They're going to play the Milwaukee Brewers. I know tonight Argetty's on the mound against the Rangers, but let's see what we got with the Brewers coming to town. Kaiwei Tang will be on the mound for the Astros as they take on Coleman Crow and the Brewers in Game 1. Saturday will be an afternoon start time at 3:10. Peter Lambert will be on the mound for the Astros when they take on Brandon Sproat in the Brewers on that day. And then the final game on Sunday, we got Tetsuya Imai on the mound against Jacob Mizorowski in the Brewers. So that's what they got this coming weekend. Going into the month of June, they will have until next show, which will be next Thursday, June the 4th. They'll get an off day on Monday, and then they welcome the Pittsburgh Pirates to Dyken Park. Ooh, Paul Skeens coming to town.
Get back!
Get back!
Let's see what name. Well, it won't be Game 1. So Game 1, it's going to be Mike Burrows for the Astros and Bubba Chandler on the mound for that one. Game 2, which will be Wednesday night, it's going to be Spencer Argetty versus Paul Skeens. Ooh, let's run that back.
Get back!
That's going to be a lineup to watch. You know what? I might do a preview of this. I have not yet done a preview of an Astros game this season. So if they're watching, maybe we could do a crossover with Steel City Sports Talk and On The Go. So Rich, Adam, let's hook up Wednesday night. Paul Skeens versus Argetty on the mound. Pirates, Astros. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. You know what? That I might pull double duty that week. I'll do a little crossover with that, and then I'll do my actual show on Thursday, June 4th? Yeah. So if they're watching and listening, let's get that rolling. I haven't done one yet. And that's what's going to happen that day. And then the final day on Thursday, it's going to be Kaiwei Tang versus Jared Jones on the mound with the Astros and the Pirates. So that's all the Astros talk I got there. Good stuff. They made the overlay today for sweeping the Cubs. And let's go right around the block. Let's go from the icebox to the shell, and let's get to some Dynamo talk right about now. Let's do it. This is Dynamo Talk, where I'm talking Houston Dynamo, and this will not the last time for the season, but the last time for quite a while, because after this past weekend, we're not going to have no more MLS action until about mid-July, with FIFA starting up in about a week or two, something like, I think in 2 weeks. FIFA's going to kick off, and we're going to have the countries going to war for that FIFA World Cup, including USA and I don't know who else is all in that tournament. There's a bunch. And it's going to be hosted in North America. You're going to see most of the games in the U.S. There'll be some games in Mexico and some games in Canada. But let's talk about what the Dynamo did in their last game for a while before they're back in action in July. Well, May's been a challenging month, but I will say this for the Dynamo. I'm talking about regular season play, not Open Cup, U.S. Open Cup or nothing. They've only lost one time this month. They've had a total of 6 matchups, including a quarterfinal game in the U.S. Open, 5 MLS battles, and they've won 1, 2, 3. They've won 3, lost 1, and drew in 1. So not a bad month for the Houston Dynamo in just MLS play. But in their last game, they went to war with the LA Galaxy. They did not lose, but they didn't win. It ended in a draw. The final score, it was tied 1-1. Draws are really not that bad. You can still get some points in there, but you always want to win. But hey, they did not lose, and they still are going in the West. But they tied 1-1 with the Galaxy, so now that puts their record 7 wins, 1 draw, and 6 losses. It just MLS play. Recapping their matchup with the Galaxy, they had 44.7% possession with 5 shots on goal, 10 shot attempts, 9 fouls, 3 yellow cards, 2 corner kicks, and 5 saves. The only goal scored in that matchup was in 41 minutes of play. Gilliam hit a right-footed shot from the outside of the box to the bottom right corner, assisted by Jack McGlynn to prevent a loss. But hey, at least they didn't lose. I'll take it, but it's going to be a while. I mean, I've been enjoying watching them, and it's kind of sad I'm not going to be able to watch them at all for the month of June and the first half of July. But they're going to be back. They're going to be back in mid-July after FIFA's done. But that's the time to watch soccer, folks. Anytime them countries go at it, that's when it's intriguing to watch. I know everyone loves watching the Premier League. That's like the NFL of soccer. I mean, that's even better than MLS, to be honest with you. I mean, I watch the Premier League. Well, I mean, I only follow one club. I mean, in every league I watch. Like, I watch Dynamo with MLS, Manchester United for Premier League, Celtic for Scottish Premiership, FC Bayern for Bundesliga, FC Barcelona for La Liga, PSG for League One. I think that's it. I think that's I follow like 5 or 6 clubs. That's about it. I follow more international clubs. I think that's about all of them I said. Yeah, Manchester United, Celtic, Bayern, Barcelona, PSG, and Dynamos. Yeah, 6. That's the only 6 clubs I follow. I don't jump bandwagons, especially when they're win first place or win divisions in these other leagues like certain people do. I stay loyal to the ones I follow. I don't go jump from Dortmund to Bayern when they want to win. I don't go jump from this team to PSG or shit like that. I don't even jump to a team I can't even catch and just want to cheer for them all of a sudden because they're the best and only team in that league. I don't even keep up with the other leagues. Like, I know they got that league in Italy. I don't even watch that shit. I don't watch the league in Saudi Arabia. I don't watch the league in South America. I don't watch the league in Australia. I don't even watch that USL Championship League in America. I know there's that other league, but I don't go jump from one team who dominated to another. I just stick with mine. But it will. I might not cut down on the Apple bill because it's going to be back rolling in July. But goddamn, I'm ready for FIFA. But I'm ready to watch the Dynamo again. They'll be back. They will be back on July 22nd. Their first match back after FIFA play. Their only 2 matchups in July are at home. DC United on a Wednesday night, and then July 25th against Austin, the other half of the Texas Derby. I'm planning on being there for that. I'm working something out. I'm planning on going back to Houston this summer. I need a reason to go. If I don't go to an Astros game this summer, I'm going to go to a Dynamo matchup, and I kind of want to go to a Dynamo matchup more and do some other fun stuff. So that's about all the Dynamo talk I have. They tied with the Galaxy. Their MLS is on pause during FIFA. But this is going to be your spot. I'm gonna cover all FIFA. I'm mainly going to be recapping USA matchups and upcoming games. I might do some score recaps of other plays in group stage. I know there's a lot of stuff in group stage. It's going to be a lot. But this is going to be the place to get your score recaps, predictions, and recaps of Team USA's battles in FIFA right here on The Go every Thursday night. Unless I do like a special, which I'm debating if I'm going to do anything about that. Well, that's all the Dynamo talk I have. I got one more thing H-Town related, and then we're going to head out to the 337. Let's go ahead and recap the Houston Gamblers with their second straight matchup with the Battlehawks. I know they got one more game left, and then their season officially wraps up. I thought they could maybe win 2 in a row against the Battlehawks. No, they did keep it close, though. The final score, they lost 21-15 to the Battlehawks at home. So now they're 3-6 overall. They're not going to the playoffs. I don't even know. Did they win a home game this year? They probably only won one home game. I digress. Let's look at some numbers here. We had a new quarterback in this game. John Rice Plumlee was the starting quarterback. He went 11 for 21, 131 passing yards. He did throw an interception. Hunter Deckers, though, 4 for 8 for 51 yards. He did throw a touchdown pass. Marcus Yards led rushing, 13 carries for 98 yards. Jalen Moreno Cropper led in receiving. He had 4 catches for 103 yards. Lawrence Keys, 3 catches for 27. Javonte Payton, 1 catch for 7 yards. That was the only receiving touchdown. On offense, 21 total carries, 142 total rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. So Kurt Merritt had a rushing touchdown for 5 carries for 15 yards. So they finally had some numbers up in rushing. Receiving, they're still dominating, 15 catches for 182 total receiving yards and a receiving touchdown courtesy of Peyton. The defense, on the other hand, 64 total tackles, 45 solo, 1 sack, 7 tackles for a loss, 1 interception, 4 broken up passes, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery for the Gamblers. They got one more game left. I think they're playing Orlando. I thought that's what it said. We're about to recap that a bit. So, meanwhile, week 9, final score. Storm beat the Defenders 27-19. Aviators beat the Stallions 36-29. Kings beat the Renegades 37-23. So week 10, your final week of the regular season. But looking at the standings, they didn't separate them by conferences. It's just the top 4 go to the playoffs. We already know the Storm, the Battlehawks, and the Defenders locked in their playoff spots. That final one's going to come down to the Kings or the Stallions. Gamblers, Renegades, and the Aviators are already eliminated from playoff contention. So here's what we got. Friday night, Renegades, Battlehawks. Just a battle it's do or die for the Renegades. A loss for the Battlehawks won't hurt them, but I think they finished strong. I'm going with the Battlehawks. Saturday, we got Gamblers and the Stallions. But here's the thing. I'm going to jump to the other games. Sunday, you got a doubleheader. Storm and the Defenders. I'm going to go with the Storm there. Then you got the Kings and the Aviators. Now, I don't know what happens if both the Stallions and the Kings win. I think no matter what, if the Kings win, they're in. But if the Kings get upset by the Aviators and the Stallions win over the Gamblers and the Stallions jump in. But I think the Kings are going to have this locked in. All they need to do is beat the Aviators and they're in, and it won't mean shit for the Stallions. But I want the Gamblers to finish strong. So I got the Gamblers beating the Stallions. Storm's going to beat the Defenders, and then the Kings are getting in the playoffs. They're going to beat the Aviators. And then we'll recap it next week and talk the playoffs. We're only going to have 2 weeks of the playoffs. When they have their bowl matchup, 50 Cent's going to be the halftime show, I heard. I don't even know where is the championship game at? It just had it don't say. They don't even have it yet. So I guess the higher seeds hosting it, they're not going to play at a neutral site. Somebody keep me updated on that. Well, that's all the H-Town talk I got. Let's go ahead and jump to the 337 and let's see how everyone else is doing in the 3-3. Well, we only have 2 teams left to talk. McNeese baseball and softball is officially done, so we won't be talking no more McNeese baseball and softball. So when we go to the 337, we're just going to go straight to baseball talk in Southwest Louisiana. So let's go.
I love to have a good time. I love to.
All right, now we're in the 337, and we're going to just jump straight to baseball in Southwest Louisiana because we're only going to talk Raging Cajuns mainly. So despite the Cajuns not winning the Southland Conference tournament, they did have an outstanding play in the tournament. They went pretty damn far. I want to get the actual bracket back up because I want to see how far they got, or I don't screw this up. Hold on. All right, turns out, yeah, I'm going to just look at it from right here. The Raging Cajuns made it to the Sun Belt Finals in the Sun Belt tournament, but came out the runner-up. So I'm gonna just recap their whole journey in this tournament. They started with an upset over Coastal Carolina. They beat them 12-11 to remain in the bracket, but they did fall in the second round. They fell to Texas State 4-3. That put them in the losers bracket with a rematch with Coastal Carolina, and they beat them again. They beat them 5-4 to move on to the semifinals, but they had to play 2 games with Texas State to make it to the finals to play Southern Miss, and they won both games against the Bobcats. They took game 1 12-6 and won the semifinals 7-4. So they had to win 2 games to keep Southern Miss going. Actually, no, it was winner take all. It was on the Southern Miss side. They did lose 1 game in the semifinals with Troy. So the championship game was do or die, win or go home. Southern Miss got the win 11-7. But for the good news was for the Raging Cajuns, they became an at-large team to make it to the NCAA tournament. And if I'm correct, I want to say the Cajuns are the only baseball team in the state of Louisiana that made it to the NCAA tournament. I could be wrong. I'm going to look into that in a bit. But congrats to the Cajuns on a hell of a run in the Sun Belt tournament. Just coming up short, being tournament champs to get an automatic bid, but you still made the tournament. I think if I'm correct, they're going to be in the Starkville Regional. I'm going to look more into that. But let me jump to LSU Eunice, who I'm going to take my hat off to them. That's about as far as I'm going to take it off. Hell of a run in the World Series in Colorado. They did get eliminated, sadly. In their first game, they fell to Miami-Dade College, 11-3. They fell in the loser bracket, but got a victory over Wabash Valley College. Where the hell is that school at? I'm looking that up. They beat Wabash 14-7. Wabash Valley College. They are in Mount Carmel, Illinois. I wonder what their mascot is. Are you shitting me? Their mascot is the Little Giants? Holy, are you shitting me? Bruh. I wish I had a laughing clip right now. Like, that is hilarious. I'm going to play this one just for shits and giggles, with their mascot being the Little Giants.
What the fuck?
Dude. No, here you go. This would be if I told somebody Wabash Valley College's mascot is the Little Giants.
Now, isn't that a load of horse shit?
Oh man, that is holy crap. Now that makes me want to watch the Little Giants. But that was their only win in that one. They did play a very familiar school I'm familiar with, Blinn College, I think they're the Pirates. I know their mascot, I know their logo is a pirate, but I want to make sure that it's not nothing. They don't call them nothing else. The Buccaneers. Yeah, see, they're the Bucks. They fell to Blinn College 16-6 to get eliminated from the World Series. But hey, I couldn't be more proud of them, at least getting out there, because, they've always dominated. But man, I was hoping they were going to win like title number like 8 or 9 or something. 1, 2, 3. They were going to win title number. So they're tied with LSU baseball with 8 national championships. Remember, they won 20 years ago. LSU Unis won their first one back in 2006, my sophomore year. Then they've won it again my senior year in 2008. Then when I went to college over there, my sophomore year, they won the national championship in 2010. They've also won it in 2012, 2015, 2018, 2021, and 2024. And credits to the softball team. They have 6 national titles. 2011 was their first, and they went back-to-back in 2013 and 2014. Went back-to-back again in 2016 and 17, and then their last one was 2019. But, hey, they'll be back. LSU Unis is going to win another one in the near future. I can promise you that. But, hey, hats off to them for another hell of a season. I want to see what their overall – hang on, I should have looked that up. Not look it up. Actually, I got it back up right here. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all how the Bengals in their 2026 campaign. Overall record 47-13. Not bad at all. I'll give them credit for that. Their conference record 18-4. They were conference champions. They were 31-7 at home. They were amazing at home. They were also amazing on the road. 11-3 record on the road, and on a neutral site they were 5-3. So I will take that. Successful season for those guys. Region 23 tournament champs, South District champs, and making it to the World Series in Colorado, but they did come up short, but it's okay. You can't win them all. So hats off. Go Bengals. Can't wait. I've enjoyed talking y'all for the first time ever. I didn't think I would ever talk junior college baseball in here, but it was a pleasure talking my alma mater, and I can't wait to do it again in next year in the future in 2027. We'll run it back. So when you see that 337 intro, it's not going anywhere. You'll still see that bingo intro. That bingo logo in the right corner with McNeese on the left, UL on the bottom. That's the only 3 colleges you got in the 337. 2 universities and a junior college. Well, let's go ahead and take it to the 225 so we can talk LSU softball and how their journey fell about, and a little rant as well. So let's go ahead and take it to the 225. All right, we're now in Tigerland, and this is just softball talk as LSU baseball season officially wrapped up. Also wrapped up is LSU softball season. They made it to super regionals with Alabama, but I had a feeling that this was going to happen. They got shut out by the Crimson Tide. They fell in game 1 7-0 and dropped the second game 4-1. So now that puts LSU softball season wrapping up with an overall record of 40-19. SEC record, not good, 13-11. Amazing home record at Tiger Park. They were 31-5 at home, 8-9 on the road, and 1-5 at a neutral site. Now, I'm not going to really talk shit about this, but I think it's time for a change. It's been 9 years since LSU softball ever made it back to the Women's College World Series. And year after year, they've either came up short in super regionals or got upset in regionals or didn't even make the playoffs. And I think we're about had it up to here with Beth Tarina and her coaching skills. I think it's time we get a new softball coach. We ain't been in Oklahoma City in 9 years. People's been wanting Beth gone. Maybe it's time that she leaves. And that's all I got to say about that. Meanwhile, I don't have nothing in the 225, so everything else I got is playoff related and whatnot. Let's jump to the super regional recap. Let's see who all punched their ticket to OKC. We already know Alabama punched their ticket beating LSU. So far, UCLA punched their ticket, sweeping UCF 9-1 and 14-4. Arkansas punched their ticket, sweeping Duke 14-5 and 10-2. Nebraska punched their ticket, sweeping Oklahoma State 8-1 and 9-1. Finally, we got these next three super regionals win into 3 games. This one shocked everybody. Big bad Oklahoma ain't going 10 miles to the College World Series. Mississippi State shocked the system. They took game 1 11-9. The Sooners took game 2 7-1, but Mississippi State punched their ticket to the Women's College World Series, eliminating big bad Oklahoma 6-0. Texas Tech, last year's runner-ups, is going back to OKC. They beat Florida. They took game 1 10-8. Florida took game 2 10-2, and then the final game, Jerry Glasgow and his Red Raiders punched their ticket, beating Florida 16-7. Despite the controversy about Florida's team didn't want to shake hands with them after the game, which this was in Gainesville. They had to go play the Super Regional in Gainesville. That's no surprise how class act the University of Florida and their fan base is. Florida, the Gators are a bunch of sore losers. This ain't the first time this ever happened. Not just in softball. I've seen it happen in baseball. I've seen it happen on football. They're a bunch of sore losers. They don't have good sportsmanship. And their fans are the fucking worst when they don't get their way. But shouts to the Red Raiders. They're my pick. The former Cajun coach himself, Jerry Glasgow, he is my pick to win the Women's College World Series. The defending champs, Texas, is heading back to OKC. They did drop game 1 to Arizona State 4-1, but they ended up winning game 2 4-3 and shut out the Sun Devils 5-0 to head back to OKC. And then finally, Tennessee swept Georgia 3-1 and 2-1 to advance to OKC. So this is what we got in OKC. 5 SEC teams, 2 Big Ten teams, and 1 solo Big 12. No ACC, nobody else. For Alabama, this is their 16th appearance. They got the Arkansas, Mississippi State, first ever appearance in the Women's College World Series. So Arkansas, Mississippi State punched their ticket to OKC for the first time. This is Nebraska's 8th appearance. Tennessee's 10th, Texas's 9th, Texas Tech's 2nd, and with the most appearances out of the schools, UCLA, 34th appearance in the Women's College World Series in OKC. And good luck to all these. Good luck to all them. And I know they've had some games that already started. I know, like on one side of the bracket, Texas Tech already beat Mississippi State, putting them in the losers bracket. Tennessee beat Texas 6-3 and dropped them in the loser bracket. Where on the other side, Alabama moved on to the winter bracket, beating UCLA 6-3. Nebraska and Arkansas are currently playing right now. I don't have a score update. But this is going to go on for the next week. But I said, Texas, we ain't got to worry about having a rematch because they're on the same side of the bracket. But if I had to make a prediction of who can be in the national championship for college softball, it's either going to be Texas Tech and Alabama, or I'm going to say Texas Tech and UCLA. But I got the Red Raiders winning it all, and they're going to win their first ever national championship in college softball. That's my pick. I'm riding with the Raiders. I'm riding with Jerry Glasgow. All right. The NCAA baseball regionals is about to go underway. I know they just did. They just wrapped up conference tournament play, and they just announced all their seeds. We're going to look at the regional matchups. I'm just going to pick one winner from each regional, like how I did with softball. But let's just say this. The SEC just keeps on dominating, especially in college baseball. 12 SEC teams are in the playoffs. That's the most in any other conference so far. 9 in the ACC, 5 in the Big 12, 6 in the Big 12, 5 in the Sun Belt, 4 in the Big 10, 3 in Conference USA, 2 in the Big West, and 1 in the rest of the conferences. I'm not even going to name them. But let's make some regional predictions. Well, we'll start with the number 1 overall seed, a UCLA, who is going to host the Los Angeles Super Regional at the iconic Jackie Robinson Stadium. So in the LA Regional, we got UCLA, St. Mary's, Cal Poly, and Virginia Tech. UCLA advances. They win their own regional, and I think they win it over Cal Poly. I think it's going to be 2 California teams playing in that one. We got 3 California teams actually in this regional, and little old Virginia Tech, which Cal Poly actually stands for California Polytechnic State University over there. Where are they located at? Let's see. San Luis Obispo, California. Jeez, that's a lot of fucking words. They're in Central Cali, so... Well, actually, it's in Southern California. They can't be that far from it. They're in Central California. What the fuck? It says it's closer to Central Coast of California. North of the greater LA area. But they're roughly between San Francisco. I don't know. We're not talking geography, people. I just want to know where shit's at. All right. They'll play the winner. Okay, moving on. So the winner of this regional will play the winner of the Morgantown regional. We got West Virginia, Binghamton, Kentucky, and Wake Forest. I'm going to go with West Virginia winning this regional over Wake Forest. But you better watch Wake Forest. We could be an upset alert. Demon Deacons could shock people. Then we got the Gainesville regional, super regional actually, but we got Florida, Rider, Troy, and Miami. Unfortunately, I think Florida wins this regional, but bro, that would be some shit. I got them winning it over Miami, but you better watch the Hurricanes. They could put them on upset alert. They'll play the winner of the Hattiesburg regional, which is Southern Miss, Little Rock, Jacksonville State, and Virginia. Another one that could see a potential upset alert, but I got Southern Miss and Virginia in the finals. A little toss-up here, but I'm going to go with Virginia beating Southern Miss, and they move on. So that'll be my first loss of a team that's hosting a regional, is Southern Miss. I think they go to the finals, but they lose to Virginia. Then we got the Chapel Hill Super Regional. While in Chapel Hill, we got North Carolina, Virginia Commonwealth, East Carolina, and Tennessee. I got North Carolina and Tennessee in the regional final, but you know what? This was basketball. I'd root for the Tar Heels, but you know what? I think I'm going to stick with the SEC on this one. I'm going with Tennessee to move on and win this regional against North Carolina. They'll play the winner of this one, the College Station Regional, Texas A&M, Lamar, Texas State, and USC. By the way, big shouts out to Lamar. I know Lamar won the Southland Conference tournament. I don't really care for him. Shout out to their head coach. Former LSU Tiger Will Davis will now be the new head coach for the Houston Cougars baseball team in 2027. Outstanding guy, great coach. I know he's going to do great things at U of H. But congrats with Lamar on your career at Lamar. Glad I don't have to root against you anymore. I get to cheer for you again when you come to U of H. But A&M wins this regional. I think they win it over Lamar. I think they'll somehow cross in the finals and they get the win there. Then we get the Auburn Super Regional. We got Auburn, Milwaukee, NC State, and UCF. I got Auburn winning this regional. I think they take it over NC State. Then we got the Lincoln Regional. It's Nebraska, South Dakota State, Arizona State, and Ole Miss. Nebraska's actually tough. I think they go to the finals, but it's a flip a coin with Arizona State and Ole Miss of who's going to play them in that final. But I must say Ole Miss. But hopefully, fingers are crossed, Nebraska moves on and takes out the Rebels. Then we get the Atlanta Super Regional. Well, in Atlanta, we got Georgia Tech, UIC, which is University of Illinois, Chicago, the Citadel, and Oklahoma. You know what? Georgia Tech actually had a good baseball season this year. I think they win this regional. I'm going with Georgia Tech, and they win it over Oklahoma. Then we got the Lawrence Regional, Kansas, Northeastern, Missouri State, and Arkansas. As much as I hate bacon bits, I think Arkansas wins this regional over Kansas. Then we go to the Tuscaloosa Super Regional. We got Alabama, Alabama State, USC Upstate, and Oklahoma State. Oh, man, I'm going to be rooting hard for those pokes. I think it's Alabama and Oklahoma State in the regional final, but I'm going to be praying, fingers crossed, Oklahoma State pulls it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama wins the regional. Then we get the Tallahassee Regional, where it's going to be Florida State, St. John's, Northern Illinois, and Coastal Carolina. The finals is going to be Florida State and Coastal easily, but I'm going to rock the tomahawk chop on this one. I'm going with Florida State to win that regional against Coastal. Then we got the Austin Super Regional. In Austin, we got Texas, Holy Cross, Tarleton State, and UC Santa Barbara. Texas wins this one easily. I think they win it over UC Santa Barbara. Then we got the Eugene Regional, Oregon, Yale, Washington State, and Oregon State. This ain't football, but I got the Civil War in the finals. I'm going with the Beavers, Oregon State, to win the regional in their in-state rivals' own ballpark. Give me the Beavers. Then the final Super Regional, it's Athens. Athens is hosting this one, but let's take it to the top. Well, actually, I'm going to look at it from the bottom since it's that Super Regional. Meanwhile, in Athens, we got Georgia, Long Island, Liberty, and Boston College. I'm going to go with Georgia winning this regional. They can either win it against Long Island or they could probably win it against Liberty. And then finally, the Starkville Regional, we got Mississippi State, Lipscomb, UL, Lafayette, and Cincinnati. I'm hoping to at least see the Raging Cajuns make it to the regional final, but I think that's where their season falls because I'm going to have to pick Mississippi State to win the regional over the Raging Cajuns. But hey, I would be shocked if they can pull it off, but I hope they can at least get to the finals with Mississippi State. And that's going to be my talk on college baseball regional rounds. We'll do some recaps next week and predict super regionals. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs real quick. I know this has been fun. Actually, I need to check this other game. We're just waiting on who wins the West. We already know the New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's going to make good storyline if you're a WWE fan with Danhausen and The Miz. New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Knicks are going to the finals for the first time since 1999. Jalen Brunson was the MVP of the East Finals. They're waiting to either take on the defending champs, the Thunder, or the Spurs. And right now, with 5:48 to go in the game, the Spurs are up 110-82. If they win this, they will force a Game 7 on Saturday, which I think we knew that was going to happen. They would lose $13 million if the Thunder would have ended this at 6. Plus, nobody wants the Thunder to go back-to-back. So, they do play Game 7 in OKC. It's going to be must-watch. But I'm still riding with Wemby and the Spurs to move on. Because if the Spurs move on, they'll be their first NBA Finals since 2014. Last time they were in the finals, they still had Tim Duncan. They still had Popovich as coach. They beat LeBron in 2014 to win that one. But if the Thunder wins this, they go back-to-back, trying to repeat to go back-to-back. Then we get SGA versus Jalen Brunson. But you know how this decade's been crazy with having new appearances with players and teams in the finals. You go back to the 2010s, it was always Kobe, LeBron, Steph Curry, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, all them names in the finals. Mainly it was always those guys you were seeing, whether it was the Lakers, the Cavs, the Warriors, the Celtics, all in the finals. Within the last 5 years, we've seen other teams make appearances. Like 21, we saw the Bucks and the Suns. That was the last time KD was in a final, and Giannis won him a ring. 22 was actually the last time Steph Curry was in the finals and even won one. They beat Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. 23, I know that was the Denver Nuggets. Yoki and them beat the Celtics in the finals. 24 was the Boston Celtics. They won the finals against the Dallas Mavericks. So Jason Tatum got him a ring. And then last year, of course, it was the Thunder and the Pacers. SGA versus Tyrese Halliburton. That one went 7 games, and the Thunder won their first in franchise history as just OKC alone. Second, if you want to include their franchise as a Seattle team. But we're going to see what happens here. Either the Spurs force the Game 7, and if they do pull it off in 7 games, they go back to the finals for the first time since 2014, and we get Wemby versus Jalen. Or Thunder wins back-to-back Western Conference Finals, and we get SGA versus Jalen Brunson. What do you guys want? I want the Spurs and the Knicks in the finals. If we get Spurs-Knicks, I'm still riding with the Spurs, and I think the Spurs can win it in 6 games. If we get the Thunder and the Knicks, I'm going to ride with the New York Knicks, and I think they can win that in 6 or 7 games. Either way, I think the finals are going 6 or 7. No one's getting shut out. It's not ending in Game 5. It's either going to end in 6 or 7 games. That's my opinion. So that's my talk on the playoffs, and we're going to wrap it up with the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm repping them. I've been fucking celebrating. Let me just go ahead and say this. The Vegas Golden Knights is the best expansion team of all time in the NHL. They have been around 9 seasons, and in 9 seasons, they've played in now 3rd Stanley Cup final appearance. Their inaugural season in 2017-2018, they made it to the finals, but they came up short against the Capitals. But imagine if they would have won that damn thing. That would have made a great documentary for ESPN. But after coming up short their inaugural season, they went to the finals 5 years later for 23. They won it in Game 5 against the Florida Panthers. And after just shutting out the Avalanche, they're back, baby. Where's that? I got to play it. Sweeping the number 1 team in the West. 3rd final appearance in 9 seasons.
We back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. But now we wait to see who they play. It's looking like they could play the Carolina Hurricanes, which they need one more win to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. And they're going to play Game 5 tomorrow night in Raleigh. So let's say this. If the Hurricanes do win, they go to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 20 years, 3rd overall. And if this matchup happens, both of these teams are very similar. They were both expansion teams. They both, if they win this will be their 3rd final appearance. They both went to their first appearance losing, but their second appearance they've won. Because Carolina Hurricanes do have a Stanley Cup. They won the Stanley Cup 20 years ago in 2006. Meanwhile, if by some miracle the Canadians force 7 games and move on, they will go to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 1993. Or what? No, actually, that was the last. Yeah, that was the last time they won the Stanley Cup. They've had 24 Stanley Cups, but the last time they won the conference and made the Stanley Cup was 1993. They were actually the last team from Canada to win it. And over the years, there were other Canadian teams like the Oilers, the Canucks. I think the Flames made it back one year. I don't remember. I think they've all had a chance in the last 30-something years, and they failed. Maple Leafs failed. The Oilers failed. The Canucks failed. I thought the Senators went to the Stanley Cup Finals one year, and they fell too. I don't remember. But no, Montreal, which I still think is Canada's best hockey team ever, they have the most. But I don't think it's. They would have they would need a miracle to pull it off and go to 7 games, because they're going to be playing in Raleigh tomorrow night. The Canes fans are going to be hot, and they pull it off. So I'll get what I want there. Knights, Canes in the Stanley. If it's Knights and the Canes, Knights win it. Knights will probably win it in 6. If we get Knights and the Canadians, hopefully the Knights win it in 5. I'll say 5. But I think it's going to be Hurricanes and the Knights, and it'll be. I'm going to say that, and it'll go 6 games. But speaking of the hockey world, I'm going to end this real quick on a note. My heart will go out not only to the Montreal Canadiens. I'll also go out to the New Jersey Devil fan base, the Avalanche fan base. Who else? I know that he played for those teams. In the hockey world and all that, we've lost a great one. Sadly, come to my attention earlier today. Claude Lemieux, who was a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. I know he won his first one with the Canadiens. He's won 2 with the Devils, and he's won 1 with the Avalanche. Died today due by suicide at 60 years old. Man, I say this every time I hear about a suicide. Talk to somebody. If you're going through shit, let your voice be heard, because suicide ain't no joke, folks. Take it from a guy like me who's had suicidal thoughts in the past. It's fucking toxic. It's like real. Like, that ain't no bullshit. If you know someone who's going through some shit like that, talk to them. Listen to their stories. They need someone to talk to them and hear their voice. That's what we can prevent this from happening. And I don't know what he was going through. I don't know much about him. I don't know him like as much as I know like a Wayne Gretzky. But a 4-time, you thinking a guy who won a Stanley Cup 4 times would have the good life. Obviously that's false. I mean, you can be the best in the world and you're going to still have problems no matter what. But like I always say, if you're going through some shit that could lead you to suicidal thoughts, talk to somebody. Talk to me. My DMs are always open. I'm willing to help those who in need of help. I have gotten help before, and I'm willing to do the same for others. So I always say that anytime I find out a celebrity or someone is death by suicide, I'm going to repeat this every time. If you know someone who is in need of something or someone to talk to, hit me up. Hit Drive to the Top up. Our DMs are always open to prevent shit like this from happening. But I send my condolences to his family. I send my condolences to the teams he played for, the Canadians, the Devils, the Avalanche, the NHL community, the hockey world. They lost a great guy by suicide who took his own life. It's heartbreaking. But that's all I got to say for tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. This was a fun show. I hope to see you guys all next Thursday night. I might pull double duty again. I'm going to work on doing a crossover with Steel City Sports to talk the Astros and the Pirates. But you can catch this actual show, same time, same place, next Thursday, June 4th, 9 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And also a reminder, when you close out after you see the intro, coming soon in a couple of weeks, we will have our UFC Freedom 250 watch-along hosted by Dirty South Entertainment and Driving to the Top, Sunday, June 14th. It's going to be a fun time. Come hop in the comments. I'm going to have the link up in the DMs. Come talk sports with us. Come talk shit with us while we watch the fights. You can get our reactions and so forth. We hope to see you guys there that night, and I hope to see you guys again next week. So peace, love, I'm out. Y'all enjoy y'all summer. Enjoy that sweet break. And I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you and good night, folks.